As we turn to the final page of Genesis, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment in the journey through Scripture. We've witnessed the grand narrative of creation, the fall of humanity, and God's relentless pursuit to redeem a people for Himself. Now, we step into a new chapter, the book of Job, that will challenge our understanding of faith, suffering, and the very nature of God Himself. You might wonder, why are we jumping from Genesis to Job? Well, friends, we're exploring the Bible in chronological order, and many scholars believe Job's story unfolds during the time of the patriarchs. It's a fascinating transition because while Genesis paints broad strokes of God's plan for humanity, Job zooms in on the deeply personal struggle of one man's faith. Let's think about where we've been. In Genesis, we discovered how sin and suffering first entered our world. Remember the garden? One act of disobedience, and suddenly pain became a part of the human experience. But even in that dark moment, we saw a glimmer of hope. God's promise to one day crush the head of the serpent. As we journeyed through Genesis, we witnessed God working in the hearts of individuals like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He was shaping a people who would know Him, love Him, and walk with Him. And let's not forget Joseph, a man whose suffering ultimately saved his family and fulfilled God's promises. Now, as we open the book of Job, we're about to dive in to one of life's most challenging questions. Why do we suffer? It's a question that probably has crossed your mind more than once. I know it's crossed mine. I remember when I was just 10 years old and my father fell seriously ill. One morning, the doctors gathered our family and told us he might not make it through the day. Our world turned upside down in an instant. Though my parents weren't churchgoers, we called for an old country preacher from my father's home area. After an hour alone with my dad, the preacher emerged and declared that my father would live. And you know what? He did live for another 10 years. But those years were filled with suffering. He was in and out of hospitals, including a several-month stay in the VA hospital far from our home. Everything changed for our family. Yet through that painful experience, I learned a crucial lesson. Suffering is a part of life in this fallen world. That's the backdrop as we step into Job's story. In Job 1:1, we're introduced to a man described as blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. Job had it all, a loving family, abundant wealth, and a sterling reputation. But in the blink of an eye, his world would be turned upside down. As we read on, we'll see a spiritual drama unfold. Satan, the accuser, challenges God about Job's faith. Does Job fear God for nothing? He asks in Job 1:9. It's a question that cuts to the heart of our relationship with God. Do we love Him only for His blessings? Or is our faith deeper, able to stand in the fiercest storms of life? God allows Satan to test Job, and what follows is a tsunami of tragedy. Job loses everything, his wealth, his children, even his health. Yet in the depths of his anguish, Job utters these incredible words. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised, he says in Job 1:21. Friends, as we journey through Job's story, we're going to wrestle with some heavy questions. We'll see faith tested to its limits. We'll hear arguments that might challenge our understanding of God. But through it all, we'll discover the God who is bigger than our suffering, whose purposes often extend beyond what we can see or understand. Remember, just as God used Joseph's suffering to save many lives, He can use our trials to shape us and impact others in ways we can't imagine. As we dive into Job, let's approach it with open hearts and minds, ready to learn, grow, and deepen in our faith. So are you ready to embark on this journey with Job? To explore the depths of human suffering and the heights of divine wisdom? Then let's turn the page together and step into one of the most profound, challenging books of the Bible. The story of Job awaits, and with it, lessons that have the power to transform our understanding of faith, suffering, and the unfathomable wisdom of our God.